You know you truly appreciate Riot's lore when you're willing to invest into safe-for-work fantasy books. Hello my fellow warriors, hope you're doing well. So at the end of 2020, Riot released its first novella by the name of Garen 𝗪𝘂𝗍𝗪. To be honest, I wasn't really a fan of that because you know how I feel about Garen or 𝗬𝘂𝗪 in general, but 𝗁, 𝗤𝘂𝗧, and that 𝗤𝙪𝙧𝙀 in the back had me sold. The genius behind this book is Anthony Reynolds himself, an incredible writer from Australia who is also one of the lead writers in Riot. Some of his works you might know as The Echoes Left Behind with Thresh and Ladros, 𝗪𝐿ista's boyfriend, Burning Tides, the full story of how MF whooped GP's ass and took over Bilgewater alongside Graves and TF, and some of my personal favorites, The Dreaming Pool, The Shackles of Belief, and The Principle of Strength, where in one we're introduced to literally the best 𝗪𝘂𝗍 character, 𝗀𝗀, in the second, where Silas kicks ass, flirts with a shamanka, and joins the Winterclaw, and the third, where Darius and Swain are being their absolute alpha selves and school some spoiled brat and his bougie ass family. I won't be diving too deep into it because I want people to actually purchase it and, you know, kind of raising our chances of receiving more books like this in the future. But I'll spill some tea because I do want us to judge fictional characters together. So the story begins with 𝗬𝘂𝗪, where Garen is an absolute fucking wreck. Homeboy was training non-stop since the disappearance of Big Daddy Silas and that other useless crown guard that he calls his sister. Tiana Crownguard, or as I like to call her, Karen, is not happy about him not being emotionally stable and looks for a way to send him on a short vacay with the boys to clear his mind cause she can't afford losing more soldiers. Tiana, for those of you who don't know, is Garen's and Lux's aunt, the High Marshal of 𝗬𝘂𝗪 and the wife of Lord Eldred, the leader of the most racist group in 𝗬𝘂𝗪. The quest was to check on good ol' Uncle Hargold, who was the ambassador of 𝗏𝗏𝗏, an independent nation to the east of 𝗬𝘂𝗪. Karen would get monthly letters from Hargold, but this last letter that she received was a bit sus. The handwriting wasn't quite the same, and the phrasing didn't really sound much like him either. She believed that the letter was written by somebody else and wanted Garen to check on it with his vanguard and 3 other shields. 4th shield, the supremely competent 𝗂𝘂𝗪, 8th shield, the unsmiling big boy Rosk, and the new 1st shield, our little baby 𝗤𝘂𝗧. The story then introduces us to several new characters. 𝗏𝑔o, the dad of the group, super chill and laid back guy who always smiles, Alice Morn, the best swordswoman in 1st shield and 𝗤𝘂𝗧's girl crush who also happens to be a raging bitch, Saskia and her twin brother Rurik Voss, a powerfully built duo with auburn hair and freckles who sent me into a 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Hess, an edgy boomer asshole who's a great fighter and who likes to bully Cytherea, and shield surgeon Merrick, the one who tested Cytherea to join the ranks and who also occasionally defends her from Hess every time he's being a dick. Fast forward, Quinn joins the party and Cytherea notices how Garen smiles for the first time when he sees her. Now I know Gadarina is a thing and is even quite canon, but something about his interactions with Quinn were super fucking adorable. Like he even held her at some point. And don't get me wrong, I love me some enemies to lovers tropes, that's why I'm being so civil every time Rollo posts Darius and Quinn fan art. But the Garen and Quinn thing just makes so much sense, you know? Like she was a punk, he did ballet, what more can I say? Anyways, the squad manages to get to 𝗏𝗪𝘃. At this point, Quinn is like, fuck you, I don't play your games, and runs off to the forest, while the rest of the lot proceeds into the city. As they enter the city, the squad notices a couple of things. 1. The road was newly constructed. 2. A formidable example of military architecture was standing right before them. And 3. There was a newly constructed bridge with a fortress wall. Now look, the moment I read that, I was like, 1 + 1 equals to that's the motherfucking 𝗏𝘀𝙧𝙀𝙀. But no one, not a single soul, not even Garen 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 himself, realized what they were getting themselves into. Like, what kind of half-assed military education did they receive? How could you just enter it without knowing what it was? 𝗂𝘀𝗪 was almost murdered when the Gates of Mourning had fallen during the Noxian occupation. So you mean to tell me nobody knew what an 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 looks like? Child. Anyway, so from here on out, the real action begins. Queen is scouting the forest because someone needs to do their fucking jobs, notices that something is off, and realizes that there are entire fucking warbands waiting to be unleashed. Meanwhile, Garen and his squad are enjoying an extremely awkward dinner with Lord Castellan and his daughter, who are not happy about them coming for a visit. 𝗬𝗧𝗧 never sent them any type of condolences, which they should have because apparently the Lord's wife was dead. Which was a complete shocker for Garen because he never received a word about his loss. Though while that's brewing, the Lord's warden Vigrid, an intelligent, pale as snow man with cropped hair, square jaw, who carried himself as a warrior who had seen some shit, had a little bro moment with Garen. They found a lot of similarities in one another and kind of hit it off. While on the other side of the banquet, 𝗂𝘂𝗧𝗏's cousins were eaten and he remained unbothered. Like, first genocide, now cannibalism? Bruh. The Stonehorns built your fucking raptor bases and you're just chilling here and eating their cousins after years of them supporting you during everything? And yeah, I saw y'all saying things like, they're not really his Yes, they are. They are his cousins. He literally said so. And no, he's not a carnivore because he literally pointed that as well. Anyways, a little bit after that entire awkward shitfest, Garen finally meets his uncle and greets him with the Crown Guard family motto, strength through discipline, which he was supposed to respond with honor through diligence, but didn't, which is when Queen dramatically entered the hall and said that the 𝗬𝗧𝗧𝗧s are on their way. Garen then looks at Queen, then looks back at his uncle, who splits into two and runs away. And the only 𝗬𝗧𝗧𝗧 that we know of that can split into two is none other than Miss White herself, aka LeBlanc. From here on out, the 𝗬𝗧𝗧𝗧 squad is locked with the 𝗬𝗂𝗪𝗏, and it's all up to Queen to go and try find help. More dramatical fighting ensues, and 6 battle waves later, Garen finally 1v1s Vigrid. They have a homoerotic sword fight where the warden, who happened to be a 𝗬𝗂𝗧𝗏 soldier all along, keeps complimenting Garen and how good he is and how he should join the 𝗬𝗬𝗏 Legion, while Garen is desperately fighting the heartbreak that is losing his new best friend. To know what happened next, I'll leave a link to the book down below so you can go check it out. But not before mentioning the most epic part in this entire novella. At the end of the battle, Garen looked to his side and noticed a red-eyed raven watching him, which means 𝗬𝗏 was lurking all along. The only question is, why? Was 𝗬𝗏 planning an invasion from the east, or was it just another plot by the Black Rose? As far as we know, LeBlanc and 𝗬𝗏 don't work together, unless making Rel into a super soldier counts. So everything really falls under a couple of options. A, 𝗬𝗏 and LeBlanc are working together for some unknown reason that we will find out about in the future. B, 𝗬𝗏 decided to take over 𝗬𝗪𝗏 to initiate a surprise attack on 𝗬𝗬𝗧𝗏, who is still weak and doesn't have a king. Or C, LeBlanc was spinning her webs from 𝗬𝗪𝗏 after murdering the king so she could attack 𝗬𝗬𝗧𝗏, blame it on 𝗬𝗏, and start another war in the process. Even though honestly it could have also been 𝗬𝗏 who murdered J4, because after Progress Day we know that he has some really capable war masons. So if you have any theories, let me know in the comment section below, and the best ones will be discussed in this upcoming week's lore stream. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you'd like to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon and donation pages. As always, I'd like to thank today's Patreons: Chip, Leke, Whisper, JC, Emarasa, Radek, John Doe, 𝗵𝗵𝗍, Offic, Hirek, Clockwork Ronin, and 𝗬𝗏𝗫𝗫 for making this video possible. Thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.